Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Brandon Barnes and my lovely wife Maggie for episode 2 of Life Unfiltered.
You had to think about it for a second.
I didn't, no.
What's the name of this again?
It's the Life Unfiltered podcast, hosted by the Barnes Bunch.
That's us.
Can you believe?
Half of us.
Can you believe episode 2?
No. I can't believe the week went by as quick as it did, but I feel like that's how time moves for me anyways.
Yeah. Well, let me take my half marathon medal off. It's
you don't need that on anymore since you finished.
It's weighing on me. No, all jokes aside.
The glory is so heavy.
All jokes aside, I did do the Charleston half marathon on Saturday, but I didn't even get to wear the medal. I was like one of the last people to finish, and my kids kind of commandeered the medal as soon as I got it.
It's a really pretty one, and so were the shirts. And typically they're not cute. And this one's really cute.
I don't know if y'all can see that
and
or this focus, but
let me see it real quick. It did like the whole, like different. I guess I'm not gonna say them tourist traps, but like they got the Joe is at the top.
Yeah.
And sailboats, and like a good bit of Rainbow Row.
Selfishly, that's kind of why I want to run it.
It's really pretty, honestly. Is that supposed to be like a cannon or something from the battery? I'm guessing.
Probably.
Anyway. I think it's sad that most places aren't doing medals anymore.
I know.
Because I'm like, running. You should at least get something out of it. And now they don't even give you one unless it's, I guess, a half or more.
Yeah, I think so. It's to me, it seems pretty inexpensive, but we ran the Avondale 5K and we did the Turkey Trot, and neither one provided a medal. And I've done enough now. The medals aren't the most important. If they're really pretty like this one, I kind of like them. But just like a traditional medal, yeah. But for Penelope, who's doing her first races, like that's kind of a...
Are they going to do one for the bridge run?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, the bridge run has
the biggest race in Charleston, so
honestly,
probably in South Carolina, I would think.
Honestly, that's why I'm doing the bridge run this year, is because the medal last year was so pretty, and they got so much positive feedback about it. I think they've already released the medal for this year.
Yeah, the sad thing about the Turkey Trot is that they gave Penelope last year's medal this year for doing the kids run. And I was like, come on, guys. She's old enough to know the date's wrong.
No, they didn't even give her that. I just found one.
Oh, I thought they were handing them out.
No. They were so.
I mean, how much do you pay for a half?
Depending when you sign up, but the Charleston half I think was like $125, $130.
So I would think if all those people do that, a good portion of that revenue is enough to buy a medal.
I think so too. Hey, Barnes.
Just saying.
And shout out to a not sponsor, but sponsor Barnes Laserworks, who did our cool cups.
Yeah. Thank you,
but maybe he can get in the metal business for the races.
Yeah.
You know, so if you guys need some...
He can make them out of wood.
Engraving. No, he can do metal too.
I know, but it's really funny. A wood one would be kind of cool because they are quite heavy. Yeah. And if you're going to display them like we've done before, like you got to put them in studs if you want them to stay on the wall.
This is true.
So it makes sense. I don't know. A wood one could be kind of dope.
So Barnes Laserworks, if you're watching this, I would, A, you can be a sponsor.
And B, you're welcome for the idea. And C, we would like a portion of the profits.
Yeah. Maggie is always talking about money. So we screwed up.
Why do we forget to push the record button?
We
awesome.
did.
Great.
That was pretty good intro too.
Good job.
It was.
Well, did the audio get recorded?
That audio got recorded, but this audio didn't get recorded.
Well, it probably picked up on there, so just hit it now.
Now. So
Jesus Christ.
If you guys hear the audio change at whatever minute it is right now, then that's what it is we're switching
because this is supposed to be our timer.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Episode 2.
So, hey, but the camera audio, let's just hope the camera audio worked.
I would think it did. It got you earlier.
It did. So
how long has it been recording? Do you even know if that's recording?
Oh no, let's
Since
check.
you didn't know that this was
not
check. Recording.
We're not editing any of that stuff, so you're gonna see it all.
I mean, I don't understand why this is so difficult, but maybe this is why people don't want to do this kind of shit. 'Cause there's too many things you have to do. Oh, we're good. Okay, excellent. Well, I guess the first portion will be lo-fi. For anybody who likes ASMR.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, so we have the good audio going now. So this is our little podcast mixer. So anyways, but yeah, so the race was fun. So we have the bridge run coming up, and it's fun. running. It was cold, really cold.
It was so cold. It was cold standing there. And the DJ was really good. I will say that. Whoever they had DJ for the, I don't know, what do you call it? Like an after half marathon party.
The
At
post
the
party.
end at the finish line was excellent. He played, I walked up and he was playing some like Ariana Grande remix. I was like, okay, sir. The girls and I were dancing to keep warm.
I wouldn't know because when I finished, they were pretty much breaking down the whole place.
Yeah. But he still announced you, which was kind.
He did. I got the last. He said.
He's like, we're not done yet, folks.
It was nice. I did get an announcement. So.
Yeah. There was a lady after you, but I think she might have just been the cleanup because she had a vest on.
There was a lady. There were a couple of people with like a blue vest, and we were kind of going back and forth a little bit. So
Okay.
And then I think people got skewed on the route because once when you're in the back of the pack, they start picking up cones and wrapping it up, and so you kind of get confused where you are.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't know.
So I had to actually pull out my phone and GPS how to get back onto Lockwood.
There was a part where I saw you on Lockwood, and I was like, why is he on Lockwood? But I didn't know the race route. I just knew where I needed to go for the finish. And you were there for a minute, and I was like, I wonder if he's lost.
I think.
And then Nick was like, I'm going to go find him and meet up with him. And I was like, okay, I'll watch your back go.
I think I did.
A psychopath. It's like, he already ran the marathon. Let's go do more.
I think I did run like an extra 2 or 3/10 of a mile just because I did get lost.
Brownie points.
So I thought I was getting Lockwood. I wasn't. So anyways,
Anyhow,
that was the excitement of the weekend. Another cool thing that we did, we'll talk about here for a minute, is we bought a new home.
Yep.
Bought a new house, not home. It's not a home. It's a house.
It's not our home.
It will be somebody's home.
Somebody's home eventually.
Right. That's a weird thing when you talk about real estate that I learned is that when we talk about the houses that we flip and with homeowners and sellers and stuff like that, is we try to be really thoughtful in not saying the word home because home has emotion. And then, like we talk about house does not have emotion.
Or property. Property doesn't really have an emotion either.
It's a product that we are, a service and whatnot. There he is. He's barking. He's bark inside and bark outside.
There's probably somebody near, like a male person.
Yeah. Excuse the dog. But anyways.
He'll get over it eventually.
We try not to use the word home. We use house. So anyways, on Friday, we closed on a house that we got the lead from SEO, which for those of you that may not know what SEO is, it is search engine optimization. So basically we pay a service, we pay a company to, they redid our website and then provided us with keywords and SEO so that when people Google, selling their house fast in Charleston or selling it for cash, or I'm not 100% sure what all of our keywords are off the top of my head. Then you get ranked based on, kind of how real Google believes you are. And so the more stuff you put out, the more validating and credible is a good word, and real you seem to Google, and then you also seem that to the consumer or a seller.
Yeah.
And so we got this lead back in November, I believe. Right? Yeah, I think we got it.
That sounds right. Yeah, because I think you were talking with her around Christmas. So that seems correct.
Yeah, we were under contract before December. So, but yeah, it was a lead. I literally had gotten done in the gym, was at the front of the gym at Tres Palmas eating my acai bowl.
That place is delicious. If you go to,
it is.
What is it? Ethos? Sorry, I couldn't think of the name of the gym.
They have it at Ethos and Mount Pleasant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But
I like the pink smoothie. It's really good.
But I was sitting there eating my bowl.
Give me some one.
And the email came in, text came in, kind of a notification. And I think within 3 hours, I was at her house making her an offer. So from the time that she filled out the the web form, and I got all the information by like 2 or 3 hours afterwards, I called her immediately and she was ready. And we weren't necessarily the highest offer. I think we were right in the middle, right in the pack. There were some other investors in Charleston that I knew that she was talking to. And we were ultimately able to kind of solve problems in a different way. We gave her a little bit of a cash advance. We gave her kind of timing to close when she wanted. And then obviously, leaving it as is and whatnot. So, but that closed officially Friday, and I believe she's all moved out. And
the bodies are still there, though.
So the running joke, and it's not.
It's a joke. I think
it's a joke. It's 100% a joke. Like, anyways, so the seller, she wanted to
paint her house. And so one of the biggest things about painting is the prep of painting. You know?
If you're doing it correctly, you're prepping really well.
Correct. So like a good painter, they may spend the whole first day of painting just doing nothing but prep, hanging up plastic, covering outlets and handles with tape and different stuff like that. Well, she did an interesting job of prepping her house for paint. And then the other side of it is she used a very expensive plastic versus a white plastic or a clear plastic.
She used black plastic, which if you've ever seen, I don't know, any show about murder or Dateline, it looked like a before murder scene.
Oh, not the whole house, just the garage.
Just the garage, which is probably would be the choice place to murder someone if you're going to murder them in your house. You know, it's a dusty, dingy place. You're like, oh, what a blood splatter in here. No one will ever notice it, I guess.
We're scaring this house now if people want to buy it. But no,
nothing
was done. She just, a super nice lady. She had basically had black plastic the entire garage except for the ceiling. And so she was going to spray the ceiling. And then her thoughts were spray the ceiling, then take everything down, spray the walls. And she didn't want any paint on the floor, so she had the floor covered. So that's why she had it the way she had it. But it's just a running joke.
It was the choice of like the hefty bag black that was scary. And just the whole, and the fact that she was leaving the country.
She also was
part of the plan.
She also was an American. So that's not, again, you can't just say half of it.
Well, part of it. I mean, yeah, we have like a thick, I guess like Bosnian Russian accent. You've got a black trash bagged garage. And you're like, hey, I want to leave the country. Oh, all right.
So anyways, but the house is actually in really good shape.
It's really pretty. It has a great layout.
And so we'll have it done pretty quick. Paint, flooring, lights, kind of a general, pretty in and out, simple construction. So, but we're excited. We got some new partners on the deal and excited to kind of get the first one done with them and hopefully time it really nice with the spring warm weather, kind of everything coming out of the market. Mm-hmm. So, and then we have on the flipping side, we have some traction back with some projects that were delayed. Pretty excited for that. We got the exterior painted, some new rails built, the hardy board on the outside of it.
Yeah, that painting crew or exterior crew is super fast. So the house already looks bigger, which you paint anything white or put anything white on something, typically it has an enlarging effect.
Yep. And so
it's going to look really good when it's done.
And so hopefully the guys come and fix the framing today and we'll get the inspections and ready to roll. So hopefully by the end of the week we're insulating and sheetrocking and moving that one. And then we have our big project in West Ashley on Briarcliff.
Yep.
We got all the permits approved, and so we are cool to order lumber and
that one will be a really fun one for before and afters because it's, whenever you move a wall and you change a whole layout, the before and after is quite shocking. And brain has to think like, wait, where was that? And we're the ones doing it. So, that's interesting how quickly your brain forgets.
Yeah, it's big framing job, subfloor, exterior walls, interior walls, LVLs. I mean, you name it. It's a massive.
All the stuff.
Yeah, it's a massive one. So what's really cool is with this home, Maggie has creative control to make it as nice as she wants, and
within parameters,
within some budget limitations.
Yeah, don't say as nice as I want, because that's very easy to blow a budget when it comes to that.
Yeah. So, so we got some good projects going. We have 2 hitting the market this week, which we're really excited for. So on the flipping side, got some decent activity, some momentum, and hopefully get ready for the springtime.
Totes.
And then we'll dive into a little bit more of those properties as we can tell some more stories and some of the fun, interesting things that people like to say, hey, just flip homes, you'll make millions of dollars. It's easy. Mm. So these houses, or at least one of them can attest to not being that way. So
yeah.
But it is what it is.
Everybody needs a loss for taxes.
It won't be a loss, but we definitely are losing profit.
Yeah.
But no, it won't be. Luckily, fortunately, as long as the springtime goes well, we won't lose money on it. We're just losing profit.
Time.
Which sucks. Yeah, in time, and capacity, and brain width, and all those other things that go into it. So, but yeah, other than that, how about you? What's going on with the staging world or interior design?
We had an interesting week, or wrapping up a really cute new build in Park Circle when it comes to interior design for the Airbnb side. They unfortunately had a leak, which is like a really good lesson for everyone. When you buy a home, it doesn't really matter if it's brand new. Shit can still go wrong.
Exactly. Everybody's so worried about what's going to happen after they buy it. These people bought a brand new home.
Yep, been completely built for them, I guess. And they had an installer come in and put in just like your typical cheap wire shelving in a pantry, just normal.
So hold on. The builder had the installer or the owner?
The builder
had
an installer come and do,
got it.
The final stuff for cabinetry and for the closets, like closet rods.
Yeah.
And typically that includes the pantry. And this individual shot through one of the drain lines for the second and third floor.
The water line or the drain line?
The drain line.
Okay, so the PVC, not the PEX.
Correct.
So that's why it was so slow, because it was only as people were using
As
toilets.
only as people, and why we didn't notice it until the owners came to stay for, I think they were there for about a week, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And they were using obviously the showers, the washer and dryer, I think is what really set it off, because it's on the second floor.
That makes sense, because I was wondering, I was like,
it's because I wasn't using it.
How did those nail intrusions not cause water? But once people are staying there, they're taking showers.
And they shot through it the whole way down. There had been like 14 small pinholes. And they obviously thought they were hitting a stud when they were actually hitting a PVC pipe.
Oh boy.
A big, thick drain pipe. All the way down. So all that water went underneath, in between the concrete slab and the LVP, and made a really cool squishy sound when you walked in on, I think when I walked in on Monday and looked at the owner, and we had a moment of looking at each other like, he's like, "You hear that, right?" I was like, yeah, I do. That's water.
Wasn't it the day that also like the tornado warnings and stuff was?
Yeah.
So it was like, is it the rain?
It was raining.
Flood?
Yeah, it was raining sideways. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a psycho and go to work regardless. And I walk in there and they're there and they're like, "Hey, so you hear that?" And of course, I immediately start looking around outside. But I'm like, there's no way that the grading was this bad on a new build. Like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
The amount of code and inspection you have to go through all that. And the slab itself was already raised probably like a foot off the ground, maybe more. Just walking into the property, there's like 2 steps.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kept looking around, and finally, I think it might have been the homeowner that one of them opened the pantry door, and we saw it. Like, all the sheetrock was soaked.
Okay.
And I was like, oh. And they're like, "Oh, this must be where the drain line is." I was like, "Yeah, remember when you guys wanted to remove the pantry?" And I was like, "You probably can't, because it's likely where all of your piping is for all the bathrooms upstairs." And they're like, we all had like a collective,
They wanted to remove the pantry?
At one point, yeah, there was a conversation about removing it so that it would be more open. And I was like, you're going to need the pantry, because they took that big closet under the stairs as the owner's closet.
Yeah.
So that will be locked. And then also, like, what's the point? You're not really gaining anything. You're not going to be able to seat more people in the formal dining. It was just kind of like an extra. These particular guys are hilarious. They're awesome to be around, but there's moments where you're like, "Hey, we're on a budget, right?" And they love to remind me of the budget, and then I'm like, "Wait, what about the budget?" Because they'll throw out crazy things.
Because that's going to be
sure, we can do that, but that's going to be an extra couple grand.
That's going to be a hella structural.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I don't think they were, when you're not in this space, people think that just like walls can just like come out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can and they can't. Like all walls can come out. It just costs money.
Was it we watched one of your Jeff Lewis episodes a couple weeks ago with the lady from Real Housewives of Atlanta? It's really sad that I can
Cynthia.
say this much about it, but
Is it sad or is it great?
I'm not sure. But you remember she wanted like more room. And
he's like, I can't
just
make you more room. Like,
can't make more room. You just need to learn how to be more organized or declutter or
whatever. This is on a second floor of a house. Yeah. So he's like, it's not really like we can bump out the walls, I mean, we can, but again, not with the budget that you've provided.
Correct. Yeah. You can, as one of my contractors says, he's like, we can open anything up It just depends on how much you want to pay for it.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
with engineers and steel, and you can make a lot of stuff happen. So, but
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you got an unlimited budget. I'll do anything you want, but
so anyways,
within reason.
but the cool thing about the builder, I will give that builder credit. They came out with the swiftness.
Oh, they really did.
Now they've been a little slow finishing it, which is generally how that world works. As your
The last
as your parents would know.
10%, the last 10% of any job is just like pulling teeth. They did finish the new flooring. The new flooring is in. It's the same as obviously what was there. They repaired it. But there's 2 guys. It couldn't have been more than 600 square feet. They brought a shitload of flooring for one. It was way too much flooring. They wasted a lot of it. I watched them cut the boards. I was like, this is kind of ridiculous. And then the third end of it is they took like an hour-long lunch break. I don't even give an hour. I guess I could give myself an hour, but they weren't eating for an hour. They're just sitting in their truck. I was like, if you would have taken that hour to put the quarter round down, the whole thing would have been finished. But instead, they come back today and finish it. It's frustrating to me. The time management skills are so bad. Anyway, the house looks super cool. We're almost done. I wallpapered a half bathroom and lost probably 30 minutes off my life in rage because it was a really high.
It didn't take her 30 minutes. Like, she just lost.
No, I lost 30 minutes off my own life.
Yeah, just her own biological clock.
Yeah,
backwards.
I wish it would take me 30 minutes. That would be amazing. It was a really very high grade pattern. So a lot of lines had to match up. Didn't help that my third piece was crooked, and I didn't notice it until I was like on piece 5. So I had to take it off, kind of start over halfway on the run. But it's fine.
So if you do wallpaper, own a laser level.
Yeah, own a laser level, own patience, and charge double. So there's that. Learn lessons learned in design.
Maggie's tip of the day.
Yeah, truly. But it's fine. The half bath looks super cool. We switched out the old. The builder put in like just one of those basic pedestal sinks. The owners hated it, rightfully so. We put in a really cute kind of blonde wood, modern 24-inch vanity.
Yeah.
Switched out the mirror. They had one of those bad oval beveled mirrors. It was ugly. Did the wallpaper. We installed board and batten around the perimeter of the property or of the bath, and that looks good.
Real quick question. What's the difference between board and batten and wainscoting? Are they essentially the same thing?
Well, wainscoting I think is essentially the same thing. Typically you use chair rail for the top.
Okay.
So it's like a type of pattern to the wood.
Okay.
The board and batten is very flat. I mean, you're using those, what is it, the 4x4?
1x4.
1x4s. Whereas the chair rail almost looks like a type of decorative trim.
Got it.
And then typically your wainscoting is like where you have the board and batten be the square.
Yeah.
There's like the square of the chair rail done in like a did. I'm excited to share the after pictures of that once we finish the paint in there.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool transformation to see go from like sad builder grade to actually having some personality. But yeah, little like light renovation.
Yeah. So just like some pops of color, some feature walls,
switching out lighting,
vanities, lights.
Like, yeah, we're not like, I'm not going to sign up to take out walls just yet, but maybe
one day. But for right now, so like, if you need help doing that kind of stuff, like which I think is, a nice feature if you don't have to call in a bunch of different people and, they were able to go through you and then you got all the work done.
Yeah. And I mean, I shouldn't short myself. I mean, for anything for the right price. Oh yeah. But yeah, that house is almost done. I think we'll be pretty much wrapped by the end of the week. We did extra things like installing blinds because the builder didn't do it. Obviously the feature walls, installing towel rods for some reason is something that these
Builders don't do.
they really miss it, and a lot of flippers do too, and it frustrates the hell out of me.
I do.
Imagine buying a house and being like, oh, so I guess my toilet paper just lives next to the wet sink. It's $50.
But I will
Put
say,
it up.
in the defense, if you don't put the toilet paper on the toilet paper roll, does it really matter if the toilet paper is there?
Yes, it does.
So is
1,000%.
So so if you prop it and
I fixed it yesterday or this morning.
so if you prop the toilet paper on the roll, so you just need a place to prop it. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
I will say that as somebody who, when we started flipping 3.5 years ago, I did not find towel bars and toilet paper holders, and A, they seem really basic as far as where they should go, and then B, I didn't really find them as that important. But I have learned that when it comes to towel bars and toilet paper rolls and all that stuff, is that you need to mark exactly where you want it with blue tape, because we have had homes with them in places that don't make any sense. And like you sit there and you're like, hey, sit on the toilet and see if you can even reach the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like crazy behind you, or all like just, or on, like you can't sit down because it's touching your shoulder.
Yeah. It's so weird. There's no thought behind it. And maybe that's why they skip it, is because they're laborers. It costs more money for them to literally walk around and tell them where to put shit, versus just saying, hey, you know what? We're just going to not do it at all.
But the difference is, like, again, you can buy them on Amazon or wherever for $50 for a whole set, like nothing fancy. But it makes a big difference when it comes to staging, because then you can put colorful flowers, colorful towels, and like different stuff in the room to add some extra elements versus nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's one thing we've always done with flips is, especially if we have like a powder room or just a small guest bath, is the shelving above the toilet. It's $25 for 2 nice shelves that are aesthetically pleasing, and putting them above the toilet. Because if you think about it as a homeowner, they have this one tiny vanity that's going to fit a couple towels. But like, where does everything else go? Who's going to be using the bathroom? So it's, and then again, for staging, it looks great because you can put like a little faux plant on there, a place to hang a hand towel, art, whatever. It's just like that that extra 10% is, I mean, I don't know.
It's not even 10%. It's like 2%.
Yeah. I mean, it just,
maybe 1.
It transfers well within photos for marketability. It makes the buyers, when they're walking it, be like, oh, they took some extra. They just did something extra.
Correct. It just, it's kind of what we've learned in it, is that if you forget one thing, then people start to think, well, what else did they forget?
Yeah.
Versus if it's buttoned up, I's dotted, T's crossed, house is clean, it looks good, it makes difference, and people don't tend to pick you apart as much. There's a couple things they can be like, well, I don't really like the color of this, or that's different. But when it's, hey, there's no towel ball holders, there's no toilet paper holders, there's no, like we use fans with remotes. For some reason, the contractors don't like to take the remotes and put them next to the light switches.
Yeah, they hang them in the most ridiculous spots. Like, where in your mind would you turn on the light and then walk across the room to find the fan remote? There's no thought process between the installation of some of these things, which might be why the builder is like, we're just not going to do it.
Yeah. So you install that in this Airbnb.
Yep.
And so you also love the shiplap in there too, didn't you?
I mean, this could be my PSA to just like the general public, is to stop putting shiplap in things. I know it feels appealing still, but it's dated. Like it's 5 years old, if not maybe older. And it is our generation's paneling. Our children are going to be pissed when they go and buy houses and the whole house is shiplap. And by then, it will have at least 2 inches of dirt in those crevices and dust, because you can't clean them appropriately. There's just no way.
No.
And I understand liking a vertical line, or no, horizontal line, because it makes a space feel bigger. But it's just so tired. I'm tired of seeing it. And this builder thought they were doing the owners a gesture for putting them. One in the living room. They did it
island.
around the island, and then they put one as like the backing of what would be the longest wall in the master. And we ended up painting 2 of them to give them something more interesting other than just horizontal lines.
White horizontal shiplap lines.
They did a good job filling the holes, I guess. I'll give them that. It was hard for me to see where the boards started and ended.
That's good.
So, I mean, I'm sure they're 12 or 15 foot boards. So they're quite long, but regardless, please stop doing it because it's boring. And there's so many other interesting things you can put on a wall to make it be a feature wall.
Board batten or wainscoting, for example.
Yeah.
Our feature wall in our house is really cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of it. And there's a good example. We had it it's been a year.
2 years.
We've only lived here a year.
A year and a half.
Okay.
And
Semantics.
it was done 6 months before it was done before I moved in.
Right. I'm over it.
But how quickly
I will say I love slatted walls. I like them in black or in like a blonde brown. Especially the room dividers. Those are cool. Room dividers are coming back because we've opened everything to like this insane openness in spaces. We're like, oh, it's a little too open. Those are really cool as room dividers because they're still see-through. Like divide spaces.
Okay.
The slatted like our fireplace.
Wasn't that like the 70s they did that 60s?
Room dividers?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were typically made out of metal and they were a pattern. Or they would be like halfway through and they'd be like cinder block and they'd be a planter. You had that a lot in like mid-century foyers and stuff. That was kind of cool. Those things and you can still do them in an updated way and them look good. But I swear to God, if I see anybody else put shiplap in something new, I'm just going to start yelling at y'all. That and the, what is it called? High variation flooring where it's gray, brown, black, blue, blue-gray. Stop that.
Just because it's
Stop
cheap.
it.
Just because it's cheap.
It's cheap because no one wants it. It's discounted because no one wants it.
Again, no.
Stop using it.
But if you're a homeowner and that's your budget and that's what you want,
I'll find you something better.
she'll either find something better or that's okay. But if you're a flipper, if you're
It's not okay.
Again, people have their budget. We're not saying, but if you're a flipper and you're selling it, the time that it takes you to overcome those floors,
It's not worth it.
it's not worth saving the money. It's not worth it.
It will cost you money because your home's not going to sell.
Correct.
It's going to sit longer.
It may either not sell for as much. It may sit longer. It may,
It's going to be both.
or both. But
Because, I mean, and rightfully so, the buyers right now, they're spending more for a house than they probably ever have.
and interest rates are a little bit higher.
That's what I mean. Like the interest rates are higher. The property values are higher because of scarcity and inventory. Like you're going to want your house to be bomb. You're spending a lot of money. I think our generation spends like 28 to 30% of our income, whereas the ones before us were like 10, 15% of their income goes towards just their housing. So if you think about it in that way, they want what they want and they want it to be nice and they don't want to have to change it because they're already spending a lot of money for their home. And they don't want to come in and be like, oh, it's a brand new home. I'm going to rip out these doo-doo floors. I mean,
Yep.
I'll do it because I'm used to it, but your average buyer is not going to want to do that.
Correct. And they'll just, and what's weird, they don't even say anything about it, but
They've got to be getting stuff and feedback about those floors. That's all I have to say. That and the shiplap. Stop. Please.
I can't wait to cut the shiplap part out and make it a reel. So
It's
Maggie
so
can share.
ugly.
Maggie can share.
I'm so tired of seeing
real.
it. There are homes. There are literal homes. I know, very nice multi-million-dollar home. Maybe not multi. Let's say like $3 million on the beach. The entire home is shiplap. All of the walls. There is doo-doo particles in the crevices. There is E. coli in the crevices. I promise you that. I put money on it. You can't clean it properly. That's probably my really big issue with it is you can't clean that. Unless you're going to go through every single one with a Q-tip and hydrogen peroxide or alcohol or I don't know, what are those like wipes you get from nurses that kill like C. diff and stuff on them. I just don't do it. Public service announcement. Shiplap is over.
Service
Gray floors are over. Gray walls are over. Stop it. Stop.
Speaking of that, so we're gonna get some new designs in our flips coming up then,
Yeah,
right?
I have a lot of design work to do today. That's what I'm gonna do when we're done with this.
I'm doing some doing some new floors.
Yeah, a lot of warm tones are back for sure, which I'm excited about. I love all the blonde. I'm calling it blonde. I don't know what the true thing is for. It's not caramel. It's some sort of like warm. I shouldn't say warm. It's more neutral than anything. Middle of the gray, middle of the road, not gray type hue for flooring. And then all of our walls are getting a little bit warmer. Everything was really cold there for a while when it came to like the gray on gray. And it was nice and kind of modern. And there's still probably a space for that in industrial spots.
Don't like when it's like agreeable gray walls.
Yeah, that's more, well, agreeable
floors.
gray is actually more neutral. But I'm thinking of like frost, like things that are really cold, like very gray, like true grays. Agreeable gray will probably always stay in the mix because
blue, right?
it changes color.
Yeah.
I've never seen a paint like that. Just, I don't know. It's a chameleon.
And she refused to use it when we did it.
Because everyone else uses it. And I'm not going to, I don't do what everyone else is doing. That's going to always be the way I go. And now everyone's doing black doors and I have black doors in my house. And I'm like, stop doing what I do. Because I'm going to be forced to change it. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever change the black doors. I love them. I just love black in general. But,
like your soul.
Yeah, like my soul and my heart. Don't test me.
Especially when it comes to your kids.
Oh, there you go.
Mama
That's
bear.
a good segue into our mama bear sign. So we're late to the game, though, because I didn't realize how old that video was. But it's probably from, I think it was anywhere like May or October that I saw on the YouTube that, I think it's The Cut that did it, where they interviewed 100 mothers. And the question was, would you kill for your child? And the majority, at least maybe just the ones that they showed, because obviously it's edited, were like, I don't know. Or they're like, I need more details. And then there was like maybe a handful in there who were like me, were like, yup. Like, why is that even a question? I will decapitate everyone in this room if it's between them and my child. Like, I don't understand why that's a question.
I mean,
and why people had follow-up questions.
I would love to hear y'all's feedback on it because we'll see how YouTube likes it.
Oh, well, some people were like,
yeah,
well, who is it? I'm like, it's a stranger.
It's your kid.
It's your child. Like, it's literally like, it's your neighbor or your kid. Or it's their teacher or your kid. I mean, y'all are all getting murdered. Like, it's not, I don't understand why this is even a question. There's not a person. Like, it seems easy to me. But the thing that bothered me was some of the women who were, I guess the people who were thinking about it or asking follow-up questions are the same people who have like the Mama Bear t-shirts or those tacky Mama Bear bumper stickers on their cars with like their whole family. And I feel like their title should be revoked because you don't deserve that. I'm sorry.
A bear's not going to mess around.
No, bears do not give a shit about you.
No.
What's that, honey badger? Like a honey badger. Remember the honey badger thing? Honey badger doesn't give a F. Remember?
The honey badger that played for LSU, or is this like a song?
No, it's not a song. It was like a viral video. I don't know why I'm asking you. You don't know.
There was the honey badger, Tyron Matthew.
Anyway, No, this was like a
Tyron Matthew that played for the LSU Tigers. He was the honey badger.
I don't know who that is, but I'm telling you that went viral. But it was interesting to watch it because I never saw it in its entirety. I just saw the reel that I think you sent me or somebody else sent me. And when I watched it in its entirety, it made me even more angry because of all the follow-up questions that they had. One lady is like holding her baby. And she's like, oh, this little cutie. She's like, I don't know. I think I'd have some questions. I'm like, bitch, what? I have 0 questions. You gave me all the information I need. Like, what if, I don't care if it's Mother Teresa or a priest or, I don't know, someone's going to injure your baby
or steal them
or do whatever. Yeah, you're all getting murdered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm decapitating everybody in here.
It's not like your kid just coming up to you and being like, "Hey, I need some help." And
Yeah,
you're
no.
like,
I mean, well,
nope.
again, if it's like a, this person's going to murder me, I'm like, no, they're not, because I'm going to murder them first. How about that?
we'll try something a little different first.
Obviously, we're going to do all of the things before. And
that's why Maggie's not allowed on the internet.
Nobody, yeah. It's probably not even going to go live now. Like, all right, I'll have an investigator here later.
YouTube bans us.
SWAT.
But
man, we heard you had plans.
But I think that's what we're getting at, because I know I did get some text messages over last week when people said that speed limit is optional. It's a suggestion.
There were some people who agreed with me though. They were like, I go 10 over.
That's why I said there were people. Yeah. I think more people agree with you.
Yeah, I'm driving Charleston. They definitely agree with me.
Y'all are wrong.
I was speeding and you yelled at me yesterday or the day before, and somebody was passing me.
For our 3 subscribers that we have.
Yeah.
Or text messages I got, y'all are wrong.
Well, I think it's going to be a theme in your life that most people agree with me. So as long as you're okay with that, then I think you'll be okay in general.
Fortunately, on this topic, I think
really
we both agree. So I think it would just be opposite. And so with this topic, Mama Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully. I think it'd be hard for our marriage if you were like, I need details. Like, fuck you do. There's 0 details needed.
Can you put like a scope of work, please?
Who is the person I'm killing? Doesn't matter.
Well, now that she has said the F word, now I have to figure out how to bleep those things out. Now I just changed my editing. That's okay.
My bad.
It's okay. So we just increased like 10 minutes of editing into it.
Oh, my bad.
I'll figure it out.
Other than the audio missing in the first part.
I know. This is true. This is life unfiltered. Like, it's real.
Sorry.
I'm on my 21st day of 75 hard. We are not doing recording. This is what it is.
I feel like I can't do the math quick enough, but however many days are in 35 years, I'm on that day of 75 hard. I'm teasing you. Get it?
I do. I get it. We haven't been married for 35 years, so you've had a hard life for the entire time.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
The whole life. So
my life has been super easy compared to others.
Marianne and David, make sure you listen to this. Is like,
they're not going to listen to it. They don't know how to do
this. This is like minute 47.
I'll have to show them how to do the podcast.
I bet you that your dad knows how to do YouTube.
Oh, I forget this is going on YouTube. Yeah. I'm thinking of a podcast. Like, they don't have Spotify. I mean, eventually they'll probably listen to it.
Yeah.
That's fine. They'll know I'm joking because they understand their daughter's sense of humor.
I mean, if you want to say 10 years of your life has been hard, then
none of it
fine.
has been hard. I've had hard pockets.
Hard moments,
but none of it's been hard.
Correct.
I'm very aware of my privilege. Thank you.
Should be very aware.
I am. I hope that I meet one of these women on the street who said that they wouldn't murder somebody for their kid, just so I can be like, what's wrong with you? And just figure it out. I'm very curious as to what their trepidations are.
Do you think there could be like a good reason why they would?
The only good reason I did see on there was they were worried about their remaining children.
Okay, fair.
And them being absent and putting, I guess, the burden of rearing 4 children on their partner.
Okay.
Okay. I could understand that, but also my baby might die. One of those 4 or one of however many, it's them or somebody else. So I guess I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I think I'd rather take care of 4 kids and have them all alive.
Right. But I understand where their brain went. I think she was just figuring it out. And maybe it's more of the question of some people just aren't immediately ready to murder, and some people are.
And just like
she was ready after she came to the decision.
Maggie is definitely not ready to murder.
No.
She is the most non-confrontational person until she has to be confrontational that you will ever meet in your entire life.
And then it goes too far.
Ever meet in your entire life.
I have corrected because I think there are some people in my past who would completely disagree with that statement.
Now our camera cut out midway through.
Yeah. And then apparently I think it's what Britt said.
Yeah, so some people said they watched it. So listen,
sorry.
We're just learning this.
We're novices. One day we'll have a producer.
For the 3 people that have watched it.
Although Shauna said she wants to be a producer. She has good ideas. I need to get them from her.
You do?
Discussion ideas.
Has she listened to the podcast yet?
She did.
She did?
Mm-hmm. Her and Tony listened to it.
Did they?
Yeah. She said
I think like
that
10 people have listened to it so far.
she said that my voice sounds like velvet to her.
Velvet.
And I was like, well, then maybe I need to go into a different category.
How am I
kidding,
just not hearing this?
Huh?
I do feel like
don't know.
my voice changes when the
Because
microphone
you talk
turns
to me
on.
all day about work. You don't ask me about other stuff.
I do ask you about other stuff, but I do feel like my voice changes when the microphone turns on.
I think it's because you can hear more of your voice.
It gets a little more like
Hello.
like late night DJ. I'm like
From the 70s.
an adult station type. Like
I was going to say, because most late night DJs are EDM now, and they're very loud. There's no like,
everyone's
hello.
like, hello.
Remember when they used to
Welcome
have
to episode 2.
people on the radio who would be like the late night people, but they would do requests, and it was always like truckers, and it would be like a trucker, like the lady who would do it would like know these people who like religiously listened to her, and they would like call in and ask for a request for some person. It was like a love channel. Am I making this up? I feel like this is a thing. There was you don't remember that?
No.
There's definitely something like that.
It
Or there was.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Like back in the day.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It'd be like, rig. I don't know, Randy's rig or something. Would call in for somebody else.
Randy's rig
That's
is
what I
calling
could
in to
think
talk to
of.
somebody.
That's what I could think of. I was thinking of like what they call their big 24. What are they called?
They're rigs.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I knew that.
They're rigs.
I knew that. I probably learned that at the Alpine, sitting at the bar talking to other truckers.
There you go.
But there
Alpine.
was that. I swear there was that where they would call in and do, and those were your late night DJs.
They were. I feel that's what my voice
It was
sounds
always,
like.
there were love songs, but it was a lady who did it, and then would somebody call in and be like, I'm trying to get her back, and she'd be like, okay, I'm gonna play this. It'd be like, Randy, Stacy, this one's for you. Give Randy and his rig a new chance.
Just like a national.
Another chance.
just
I
like a
swear it
national radio
was. I'm gonna
station.
Google it later. I swear it was. It was on.
She would Google it now if it wasn't rude to get on her phone like
Correct.
mid film.
It's really hard for me not to do it right now because I know it was a lady, and I know it was like 103.5. It was like whatever the Weasel used to be.
103.5 was the Weasel.
So it's whatever was the Weasel. There was a nighttime because they would play some country music. For the most part, it was like love ballads.
Let's see.
And that was the theme.
Let's see if any of our subscribers
Like Heartbreak Hotel.
have heard of this. Have you heard of this? So you'd have to be from Charleston, right?
I mean, yeah, Charleston or
till
Columbia. I
least-
think
till
it
least-
goes out on Columbia.
To at least know 103.5, the Weasel,
Yeah.
WFM.
Is it still the Weasel or
I think-
something
I-
else?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't listen to country music, so I wouldn't know. Or the radio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spotify over here all the time.
I listen to the no radio in the car, but sometimes.
You listen to your thoughts in the wind.
Yeah.
Just terrifying.
When I ran my half marathon, I did with no music.
Maybe the mama bears need to be scared of you.
No
'cause-
music.
No music. The wind.
Yeah. So
You ran the whole thing without music?
yeah. I don't run with music anymore.
That is bizarre.
I stopped running with music a couple months ago.
There was a movie with Zac Efron in it, and I think it was a flop, but he was trying to be a big DJ, and he couldn't get any inspiration until he stopped running with music, and he heard like the stuff in the city, and
It's
it made
what
him...
You think? It's when
Honestly,
you
it
think.
was a movie that could have been just like a 30-minute short, but I think I put it on one day while doing laundry.
Running.
But that's what it reminds me of.
Running is when you think. That's your time alone.
See,
No phone.
I
no
think
nothing.
all the
Just-
time, and music helps me focus on the one thing, which is the song and what the song is saying. But I can't be a person who just
3
does
hours.
that.
3 hours.
Because you know what I'm thinking when I'm running is this needs to stop.
3 hours and 46
gonna
minutes.
stop.
I think let's pretty much wrap up episode 2.
Someone figure out who that lady was.
What lady?
The lady on the radio.
Oh, the radio. Yeah.
The radio
Drop in
lady.
your comments below if you've heard this trucker lover ballad radio thing.
It sounds very 80s or 90s. Like 80s and 90s was like, that was a thing.
And then also in your comments below, is there anything that would prevent you from,
Murdering someone else who was trying to murder your child.
I don't know that we want to use the word murder in our comments much.
Injuring.
Just like removing. Would you remove?
Mob status. That's the other thing is you would think if that's, I guess I would have questions now that I'm thinking about it. It's like, are they right in front of me? Like, is this happening right now or do I have a chance to plan? Because if I have a chance to plan, then I'm not going to prison.
She didn't say that she's not removing them. She didn't say she's not going to prison.
I'm just not going to go to prison. And my baby's going to be safe. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay. So I'm leaving your comments below. I guess.
And
then yeah, I think that's it. And then what was your hot tip? No shiplap.
No more shiplap. No more
shiplap.
gray.
No more gray.
Everything's neutral to warm. If you feel like you're feeling guided towards cool, choose some blues, some very pretty blue greens. Those are still having a moment right now, especially for kitchen cabinets or cabinetry in general. I think
That's it. And then, maybe we'll call it like Maggie's Design Corner. Like you give somebody.
Ew, that's awful. That reminds me of like a PBS show.
We come with a better name, but you give like
an SNL skit, where they're like a kitty corner with the cats.
we can like pan over.
But ours could be witchy with the black cats. The occult's corner.
Anyways, and then thank you to our non-paid sponsor, Barnes Laser Works, for
making our cute cups.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So thanks for that.
Very good.
If you have any questions, I don't know if he's on Instagram or where he's at, but
he's on Facebook and he's on Instagram.
Does he change his name? I asked him to.
Oh, to his professional thing? I don't know. I think it's still under personal, but I haven't looked.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks to our sponsor.
We'll have it for the next one.
we'll have it for episode 3. We'll give you
put his handle in the comments.
Give you the handle. So anyways, yeah, a lot of fun. Episode 2. Now time to go get on an airplane and head to West Palm for a couple days.
Whoop whoop.
All right. Deuces. Oh. Smash the like button.
Oh.
Subscribe.
We need Penelope to do that for us.
Oh, yeah. Let's make like a video where she's like, smash the like button. And that'd be like the end of it.
Yeah, because people love kids.
And then we'll edit that in. So,
yeah,
anyways.
especially the ones who will kill for them.
Deuces.